Kevin Stefanski has gone for it 8 times on 4th down. They've converted 4 of the 8. Let's listen to what he had to say about going for it twice yesterday early in the game.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to consider, Tom, and we also we spent a lot of time talking about how we think the game is going to play out, and I think 14-7 was not how we thought it would play out. Points are a premium, but also we felt like we had to score touchdowns in that game, so that was the first drive there. But that adjusts throughout the game as you get more information, and really it adjusts by game as well.
And Scott, when I heard him explain that, I didn't really have a problem with him going for it on 4th down early in the game, because I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking you're gonna have to score 30 to win that game.
Right, especially after the Vikings did what they did and went down and scored and took half the first quarter to do it. Like, well, if you go down 7-3 and they score again, it's 14-3. The half's almost over. So I understand the move, and I would just tell fans to get used to it, because I think Kevin Stefanski is going to go for it more times than not on 4th down. Now, maybe if they keep having failures on 4th down, that they'll have to readjust as an organization and look at the analytics and say, hey, the numbers have tipped, the balance is tipped. But they also look at it league-wide, and they say, it's strict numbers. And that's what they look at all the data for, to say the percent, your win percentage chances. What are they going for? A touchdown versus kicking a field goal versus punting, all those things. And, the numbers are pretty strong toward going for it on a lot of 4th downs. And if you watch enough football on Sundays, you can see a lot of the league shifting in that way. And I get it. 7 points is, it's just so much better than 3 points. And there's no guarantee you make the field goal. You have to add that into the equation. You can get a penalty like they did on that 4th and goal from the 2 that bails them out. So, and, then you can, you're also pinning the other team deep if you miss. Like, there's a lot of factors that go into it. And I think another one is that, the Browns, I think Kevin Stefanski as a play caller trusts his plays, and he trusts his guys on offense. So he feels like they're going to convert. It's not like I don't think he thinks of it as such a gamble that maybe people watching do. I think he thinks, hey, we got a perfect play for 4th and 4. Let's go execute it.
And you know what? I've had no problem with it. I know they didn't convert twice yesterday, but immediately when they had the penalty and he went for 2, you saw the benefit of that as he was able to play a field goal late in the game to a 7-point lead. So far, nothing he has done has seemed panicked, I guess, is the biggest thing. And that's the last thing you want. As long as it's not panicked and it's well thought out, okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think there's a consistency to it. His philosophy and their philosophy is be aggressive. So the players know that, and you kind of coach that way and you play that way. I agree that it's not panicked. It's all thought out ahead of time. He knows when he's going to go for it, when he's going to go for 2 when he gets that penalty. Because they did it in the opener against Kansas City. They didn't do it. I want to say it's the Texans game. They kicked the extra point, or they took the point instead of going for 2. I think because they figured the game would be different, right? That extra point might not matter against the Texans, where it would in a high-scoring game like Kansas City or like you anticipated against the Vikings. And I really like how Stefanski says they play out the game, how they think the game's going to go, because it reminds me of when I hear Bill Belichick interviewed and when I watch those documentaries about their Super Bowl teams. Their coaching staff is so good at kind of forecasting how the game's going to play out and what the key matchups are going to be, that I just like hearing a coach talk like that.